My voice is getting weird. Yes. What you want to do to start off with is you want to press T to turn on your autopilot. That's the advanced SAS. RCS turns on like the zero gravity movement thingo, or zero atmosphere. You don't need that right now, so turn that off if you did. Hold down Shift to throttle up. That's if you don't know what a throttle is. How do you function? Spacebar, it will fire your engines, or it will fire your stage more accurately. But in this case, it will fire up our engines. Now, the blue thing in the middle down here is your nav. This is when you make a movement, do it here. Do not use don't look at the ship. Use this thing. It'll make a lot more sense. For some reason, north is also behind us. Over here, we've got our Kerbal. Click the IVA or press C. That's on the keyboard. You go inside the cockpit. I'm not sure what the EVA shortcut key is, but just press EVA and you'll get out. I'm not going to get out because he will die. Resources is how much fuel, electricity, and monopropellant you have. Electricity is your battery power. Monopropellant is your RCS fuel, and these both are your fuel. Okay, this is your altimeter. Now, it's 84 because that's how high we are off from the sea level, not the ground. The sea level is the difference, obviously. This is your barometer, I think it's called. This is basically how thick the atmosphere is. This thing, I've actually never paid attention to that, mainly because I've never actually needed to use it, so... And I don't know why this happens, because now they won't go away, god damn it. And I just went to Space Center and, like, re-entered the game. Alright, this is your time thing. Now you can use time warp by using the full stop and the comma to go up and down. And this is your mission time, how long you've been out on your mission. Or, yeah. This is your abort. Yeah, it's pretty self-explanatory. This is your things. You click on the orbit map to go into orbit map, obviously. You're going to click on the docking to go into docking mode. You don't need to use that yet. Staging is the one you want to be in. And yeah, so to turn this thing on, you throttle all the way up and you press spacebar and we should fly. Now you probably could see that, yep, the advanced SS is making these things move automatically to keep you centered on the nav ball. Right, what else do we do now? Now, to use the thermometer, you right click it, you go to toggle, and now it'll tell us the temperature. As you can see, it's getting really cold. I'm not sure if that's in Celsius and Fahrenheit. If it's in Fahrenheit, it's really fucking cold. So yeah, we want to go up to about 10,000 meters, then we will want to start moving over to the right, press D to go over the right, and that should... Yeah, we want to go over the right to reach 90 degrees, so we want to be on a 45-degree angle from the planet. And also, once you reach about 200 meters a second in velocity thing just above the nav ball, we want to throttle down to save fuel. Now, I've done this in 2 stages, because you don't necessarily need 2 stages. Some people can get into it in 1 stage, but for tutorial purposes, we're learning how to do multi-stage rockets. Right now we're at 200, we can throttle down to about half. Don't cut the engines, you will explode horribly. No, you won't, you'll just don't do it. Right now I've reached about 10,000 meters up in the air. We want to turn SAS off by pressing T and press D to move over to the right. Yeah, you can throttle back up again. You know we're not out of it, so whatever. Right, because this is having trouble, just turn your RCS on by pressing R. Yeah, that will help. You don't... If I had built this better, I wouldn't have needed that, but I was doing this really quickly, not thinking. Alright, once you get to the 90 bit, just press T to turn your autopilot on, and that'll keep you centered. You can turn RCS on, and you should not drift off. Okay, good. Now you see you're about to run out of fuel. I'm going to check the map real quick. You want to make the apoapsis reach 100,000 meters in the air. That'll put us above the atmosphere and we can do whatever the hell we want. Alright, this fuel's about to run out, so what we want to do when that runs out is press spacebar, and then we'll move on to the next stage and dump this extra crap. Like so. Now we have all this fuel and that's going to kill some poor villagers. So yes. We want to keep an eye on this by pressing M. You can press M to get in the map view, if I didn't mention that. Alright, I'm a bit off, so press E and Q to rotate and try and get this yellow thing, which is your prograde vector, which is the direction you're moving. You point your ship in another direction, you're not going that way. Whatever that yellow thing is, that's the direction you're moving. Remember, keep an eye on the nav ball. Everything else doesn't make sense. Alright, for some reason I can't get this on the damn line. Alright, that's... close enough. Yeah, so center that there. Hold in. I probably should have 45-degree angle, but I don't think it matters now. Yeah, it doesn't really matter. Alright, click on the arrow thing and bring up your nav bolt in the map view so you can make adjustments here instead of watching nothing. Keep an eye... When this reaches 100,000, cut the engines by pressing X. M brings up the map view if I didn't mention that already, I think I did. Right, we're at 100,000, so press X to cut the engines. Now you want to move over to the horizon. Because once we reach 100,000 meters, we want to, you know, get into orbit. And that music comes on, that generally means you're out of the atmosphere. Alright, get right on that horizon, press T to lock your, so you don't drift off. Now this prograde vector will move around and in relation to where your ship is moving. Like how, because this is using Newtonian physics, it's not using Star Wars super funky physics that doesn't make any sense. If you've ever heard anyone who knows anything about how things move, they'll tell you that everything in a space sci-fi movie is a lie. Alright, now you have a 1 minute precisely to tell you exactly this. Now, for all intents and purposes, just learn about this really quickly. You want to add a maneuver node. Click on this, add maneuver, drag the prograde, which means we'll be burning directly where that yellow thing is, once we get to this point, and drag it outwards, and that should bring you out into a stable orbit. You can use this to get into orbit without actually having to think too much. Once the apoapsis and the periapsis, your periapsis is your far side, the apoapsis is like... Okay, I've completely screwed that up, just ignore me. Yeah, that should be fine. Once they reach about equal height, they'll flip around when they're about equal height. Doesn't matter. Doesn't have to be exact. It just has to be a rough estimate. And that'll be your where you want to go, not where you are going. Now to do that, you move your rocket to the blue marker, like directly in the center of it, and press T to make sure you don't drift away from it. Once together, now you wait down here, and I'll tell you, node in T minus 15 seconds. We'll reach the target in about 10 seconds now. And then we want to throttle up and then burn the rocket until this bar here reaches 0. Now we'll be burning for about about a minute. I'm not sure I have enough fuel, but I think I might. Yeah, so we can leave that to do its own thing now, and I shouldn't drift off insanely. And now, see, we're now moving slowly but surely, we're getting into a sane orbit. Yeah, so this bar will go down, and once it reaches 0, you don't have to get it right on 0, but unless you're doing like docking or something. But yeah, you pretty much do what the hell you want this bit. Just make sure you don't, you know, lose track of what the hell you're doing. So yeah, I've not stopped talking for quite a while. Oh, cool! We're having an ellipse. An eclipse, not an ellipse, an eclipse. That's cool. Wow. You won't see that too often. Oh shit, pay attention. Alright, we've got 3 seconds left. So once it reaches 0, or close to it, press X. Okay, we're a bit off, but it doesn't matter. Alright, to delete this thing, get in the habit of doing this. You put more than one marker down, you will freak yourself out and wonder what the hell's happening. So just, what you've got to do is you've got to click on it with, left click on it, then just click on the X. That took me like 3 days to figure out. Alright, we shouldn't... Okay, we're not on an even angle, like, we're not in a good orbit. That's just kind of a shitty orbit, but yeah. Alright, we're in orbit. We won't fall to the Earth anymore. That's a bit low and a bit shallow. Yeah, I'm not proud of that one. So that's very rare in Eclipse. Well, not very rare. Now someone's screaming in the background. Alright, so we're in orbit now, so we can now go to the map view. Now we want to get back, general area about the Kerbal Crab. There. The space program is about here in this African-looking continent. It looks like a pseudo-Africa, anyhow. We want to get about back here, so what we want to do is time warp by pressing the full stop and the comma keys until we get around, I don't know, the dark side of the planet. Now, go into map view. We... Yeah, doing this, and we're about there. Yeah, well, this is... Now it's night time. Ah, yes. Oh shit, that's not it. Okay. Go back down to normal with the comma key. That's about 1 speed is regular speed. Now this marker here is the opposite of your prograde marker, that is the retrograde. If you want to slow down, you burn in that direction and that will slow you down. That's like pointing your ship in the opposite direction to what you're moving. Now, I didn't bother to see my orbits. My orbit's fine. Now to get back to Kerbal Space Program, put a maneuver node here to help yourself. You can do this without the maneuver node, but you'll want to because you're new to this. Now put it about there, about at the ocean, so by the time you get there it should... Okay, out here. I'm probably going to crash in the ocean now, but whatever. Doesn't really matter where you land, to be honest. Now, we'll reach there in about 15 minutes. Now, you don't have to wait for 15 minutes real time, you can just speed up to get there. Now, what you want to do is you want to find the blue marker. So turn your RCS on, so now you can move outside of atmosphere. Now, you can do this without RCS in this ship because the pod has enough torque, but for larger ships you'll definitely need RCS. Now, don't hold in this thing. You don't need to, make... Yeah, that'll move you, because you're in space. There's, look up Newton's 3 laws of physics and you'll understand this game like a light bulb. This game is for the patient, and... well, if you don't have patience, you're shit out of luck. Anyway, time warp up to get a bit closer to 15 minutes. Don't go too far. Like 4 arrow things is good enough. As you get closer, warp your speed down so you don't overshoot it, because then you will screw the hell up. So go to about 1 or 2 minutes. Yeah, so go down and... okay, I'm gonna get closer. Oh shit. Alright, that was a bit too far. Don't do that. That's a bad idea. Okay. And it should be fine. Now we're going to... okay, I'm going to correct this by bringing prograde up. I won't be burning prograde. Okay, I've gone past my marker, but that's okay. Okay, we do want to delete it. Alright. Yeah, whatever. Okay. Even if you overshoot it, it doesn't really matter at this point in time, because, yeah. Alright, just burn. We'll just use the map this time. Delete this shitty thing. Yeah, so now we're burning retrograde. That's the opposite of prograde, so we're burning against your velocity. Now, as you see, this thing's coming down. Now, when that reaches just in front of the Kerbal Space Program, we're going to press X to cut the engines just instantly. I think I've mentioned that like 70,000 damn times. Ignore all this other shit, that's just my game. Alright, and there's... okay, a bit more. Okay, there's good. Alright, now we should land somewhere near Kerbal Space Program. Now, press space to dump all this shit. I had to think about that for a second because I got a feeling I did something wrong. And now they will drift off and crash probably in the same place we are. But okay, you're probably wondering, we're about to re-enter the atmosphere, but you're going to wonder. In the movies, that thing always burns up into flames. Well, that's true. Although the Kerbal Space Program doesn't actually have any re-entry physics at the moment, it is rumored that there will be, so get in the habit of doing this. Okay, do not do that. See, this thing can move on its own without RCS. What do I want to do? Oh shit, turn on caps lock to turn on fine controls. There we go, that's a bit more sane. Alright, we want to face that. Oh, Jesus Christ. Okay, never mind. I'm gonna... bloody hell, okay. Okay, I'm guessing that this thing will be the heat shielding in, future versions. There, that's fine. Okay. I don't think the SAS will work because I don't have any on board, but yeah, you get the point. Alright, I'm gonna... don't do this, but I'm gonna time warp so I can get closer. Okay, once you get into... when you start getting back into atmosphere, it will automatically slow you down. Just remember that. But you can time warp, physical time warp, now by... yeah, and that warning will come up. I don't turn it off for some reason. My computer can handle that shit. And you'll start getting the barometer... I think it's called a barometer. Correct me if I'm wrong. So we'll start to go up. That means you're getting back into atmosphere. Now once you reach about the medium blue, that's when you'll start exploding into flames. And because you're in atmosphere, the atmosphere will also slow you down. See, because now I'm not going to land anywhere near Kerbal Space Program, so that's fantastic. Alright, yep, so now we'll start burning up. And now because what's doing this is friction. And my parachute has opened for some reason. Oh dear God, I think I've screwed... ah, that's what I did. When I decoupled... the parachute opened in orbit and I'm an idiot. Yeah, this parachute should have been like in its own stage. I just... shit. Well, if we survive this... Yep. Alright. Because this is an awesome parachute and this is such a light pod, I think it's going to be fine. And it's going to slow us down right down. Because this parachute should open at a certain altitude from the ground, not the sea level. Which is useful. Because some parachutes open at 500 meters above the ground, and if they did sea level, they probably open when you've crashed in the ground, so that's a good feature. So yes, as we slow down, nowhere near the Kerbal spacecraft because I suck at precision landing, we come down slowly, and I'll speed up just to save you time. You might not want to do it because sometimes the parachute will rip off. I'm slowing down here because if you time warp and the parachute will rip off for some weird reason. There are plenty of physics glitches in this game, and you'll undoubtedly lose many Kerbals to some retarded physics-related bullshit. And that will open, and then you'll float ever so gracefully to the ground, and I'm losing the ability to speak ever so slowly. So we want to speed up, because this is the boringest part. And you'll slowly reach the ground, and my graphics card's freaking the fuck out, and yep, slow down so you don't smash into the earth, because sometimes if you hit the ground too hard in time warp, you'll explode anyway. And we're underneath the map, so we'll leave that right there. So this has been an idiot's guide by an idiot to Kerbal Space Program. I hope you've learned something, and yeah.